system. Then the interesting thing is lymphatics. So lymphatics basically is lymph that was, or the lymphatic system that was discovered in the brain. And it was sort of officially made only in 2015. So 6 years ago is when they sort of officially made known that we've now found lymphatics within the brain. And all of a sudden now the research has gone into the possibilities of that, what that might have. So it's a sort of coming together of words of glial or glial cells within the brain, and lymphatics. So hence the term lymphatics. So it's involved in the removal of cellular waste. Amyloid beta is the debris and the waste material that gets created within the brain, also known as brain plaque. So the malfunction and accumulation of amyloid beta is linked to the developing of neurological disease. So they found people with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, dementia, etc. They have found high levels of amyloid beta within the brains of people struggling with those diseases. The interesting thing about the lymphatics in the brain is that it's twice as active when you're sleeping than when you're awake. All right, so that's why sleep is very important. And if we think of people in chronic pain and people struggling to shake off problems and symptoms and diseases, etc., they normally have a sleep problem. And if somebody's telling you that they're not sleeping properly, then you must know the lymphatic system and the lymphatics is not functioning as efficiently as what it should. So, and when we start treating people, as soon as you know people start sleeping better, you know your treatment's starting to work, and you know that things are starting to happen. And a big part of that is the fact that once you start sleeping better, your lymphatic system and lymphatics in the brain just start working far more efficiently. And the interesting, like we mentioned earlier on, but the lymphatics is that it drains into the neck, brain at the top, neck at the bottom. Lymph from the brain is going to go somewhere. It's going to go through the neck to get to the subclavian veins. So if you have any issues around the neck, any restriction, tissue tension, neck injuries, or just lack of range of movement through the neck, that is going to knock onto your movement, which you said we need for lymphatic flow, and that'll affect. Could very well affect the draining of the lymphatics out of the brain. I have found in clinic, especially people with MS, if I do a lot of draining around the neck, around the head, TMJ work, etc., that we immediately get a nice response in movement, better gait response, etc. So definitely working around the neck is a big one to do to help drain the lymphatics. Other ways to help the lymphatic system, exercise, we said once again, so your movement, hot and cold showers, all right, creating vasodilation and opening things up and closing, hot and cold showers. Cold showers obviously also start stimulating your vagus nerve, so that's a biggie as well. Dry brushing, so you stimulate the initial lymphatic vessels within the skin. Breathe, all right, we all breathe, yes, we know, but the more efficiently you breathe, the more efficiently the lymph will get sucked up through the thoracic trunk, from the cisterna everything will start working better. Eating the right food, there are tons of research that's been done on food that will help the lymphatic system. You can have a look at that at Dr. Google. Avoiding tight clothes, basically give the body a chance to be able to move and have as little restriction as possible. And the common sense one, drink a lot of water. Make sure you drink enough water. There are different ways of determining how much water, but the one that I found the easiest is basically your weight in pounds divided by 10. So if you weigh 150 pounds, then drink at least 1.5 liters of water a day, etc. That's an easy way of looking at the amount of water needed. So as a body worker, why is it important to pay attention to the lymphatic system? Because the lymphatic system is the healing process. If you try and get on top of somebody's aches and pains and whatever condition they might have, the lymphatic system is going to be involved. All right. It's just that lymphatic restriction will create toxicity. If you can't have toxins and debris and the bad stuff getting, if you can't remove it from an area, that area will become toxic. That area will become inflamed. And when that happens, because we said the lymphatic system follows the nervous system and it follows the cardiovascular system through the body, they snake together. when you have the lymphatic system in certain areas not functioning properly, not being able to clear areas properly, the area become toxic, become inflamed, it's going to knock onto the nervous system. All right. And the nervous system is a closed loop. So you can have a problem with the lymphatics in your legs, for argument's sake, and that can cause a problem, aches and pains within the lower back, for argument's sake. So the nervous system, once the nervous system is being affected, the pain can happen anywhere in the body. Lymphatic restriction can create a problem anywhere as well. All right. So the brain, right, obviously controls everything. So you have a problem with the brain not being able to drain properly, and it can knock on to many things. So for your fascial restriction will create lymphatic restriction just by the mechanical restriction of fascia being too tight. Lymph can't flow. Fascial restriction will also, the next point, lack of movement. So if you have a problem and you have lack of movement, then that will also create a lack of lymphatic flow.